Hello and welcome to Just a Guy with your social educator, your LLB, your loony left bully. That's right, it's me, Mike D. How's everybody doing? All right, take three or whatever this is. Sorry about just kind of popping up here and there, guys. My schedule's a little goofy right now. I'm in Wisconsin helping out with a state race. I'm trying to get the right people in to make sure that, you know, America's great still, right? Not great again. We're already there. Great still. So today, what we're going to look at Trump's tariffs. Believe it or not, I don't care what the loony left media says, Trump's tariffs are working. Okay, doing good things. We're also going to look at the Russia-Ukraine war. Looks like there's some progress being made. And we're also going to take a look at the Signal app fiasco that's happened. And those will be what we'll talk about today, guys. Sorry, I'm a little bit distracted here. I apologize. Let's get to it. All right, let's first get with the Russian-Ukraine war. Got some new information out there. All right. What they're saying is, and this is coming from NBC News as well, so, the left and the right are reporting the same thing here, right? And this is directly from NBC News. The White House said that Tuesday, Russia and Ukraine agreed to a ceasefire in the Black Sea, and it implements a ban on attacks on energy facilities by the two neighbors as well, and among American negotiators, they held separate talks with both countries. So what NBC News is reporting is that two things have happened. One, there's going to be a ban on either nation attacking energy facilities. Okay, so that way, this is a tactic that both sides were using. So now they both come to an agreement that we're no longer going to attack energy facilities and stop killing innocent civilians. So that's always good. And then also that there is a ceasefire in the Black Sea. The Black Sea over there, guys, is a huge area, not just for strategic in terms of military, but it's a huge area where just commercial vessels travel a lot too. Okay, so not having commercial vessels in the Black Sea is not just damaging Russia and Ukraine, but all the nations around there that survive. Okay, so this is big. The White House has said in two different separate statements now that negotiators have agreed both countries would ensure safe navigation and eliminate the use of force and prevent the use of commercial vehicles for military purposes in the Black Sea. So let's dissect that just a little bit. Both countries are agreeing, right? So we're good there. They're going to ensure safe navigation, which means you're not going to blow them up, they're not going to kill them, they're not going to do anything like that, and eliminate the use of force, same thing, right? They also agree that they're going to prevent the use of commercial vessels for military purposes. So apparently, both sides were taking commercial vehicles, whether they're dropping off products, picking up products, maybe cruises, things like that, and they were using them as military vessels as well. Whether they're dropping off troops, weapons, firing on ships, whatever the case may be. So they've agreed that commercial vessels are commercial vessels, military vessels are military vessels, but there's been a ceasefire there, so there really shouldn't be any need for military vessels there anymore. Okay. Now, each side, they talked separately. They weren't in the same room together. So the U.S. sat down with Ukraine, had a conversation. U.S. sat down with Russia, had a conversation. Or they did it via phone, however they did it. Okay. Each of them, obviously, they're not just going to say, okay, they're going to make demands. Okay, so the Ukraine, their demands, very reasonable. They said that they remain committed to achieve the exchange of prisoners of war. So they have prisoners of war with Russia. Russia has a prisoner of war with Ukraine. They said they remain committed to the exchange of the prisoners of war. So that's one of the circumstances that Ukraine is going to impose, that the exchange of prisoners of war continue. Also, the return of quote-unquote forcibly transferred or otherwise kidnapped Ukrainian children. So apparently there's some Ukrainian children that are being kidnapped and brought to Russia for whatever reasons. I'm sure it's fantastic. But they want those children returned as well. Okay, so that's the Ukraine. Russia has a different outlook on the war. So their agreements and circumstances are going to be a little bit different here. Since the war has began, there's been well over 1,000 sanctions put on Russia from all kinds of different areas, economic, whatever, banking, all kinds of things. So this is realistically where Russia's focusing in at, because the sanctions that are being imposed on Russia are not just hurting Russian soldiers, it's hurting and killing Russian civilians too, right? Because if you can't eat, you can't feed them, you can't do it, it's trickling down, okay? So Russia says they want help to restore the Russian access to world markets for food and fertilizing exports. Okay, so they want to be able to import and export food and also fertilizer. I guess that's a big product over there for. Okay, exporting fertilizers, probably, a lot of farming going on. They probably do have a lot of fertilizing plants over there, and they want to be able to export that. They want the lifting of sanctions on Russian banks and financial institutions, including access to the international payment system called SWIFT. When the Ukraine-Russian war started, the SWIFT banking system is a conglomerate of different nations that all exchange monetary funds, and you can transfer funds throughout nations and things like that. It's a very layman's term for it, a layman's way to explain it. So what they do is they get kicked out of SWIFT, so that really put them in a bind, because now they weren't able to transfer funds as sufficiently and easily as they were able to before. Plus, there's sanctions on Russian banks. Some of the biggest Russian banks in there weren't able to deal with other banking institutions. So again, this is stuff that's affecting not just the Russian leadership and military, but the Russian people as well. So this is the agreement and terms that Russia is dealing with. So it looks like something's coming along, guys. So looks like with President Trump and his team, they're able to not get them to the table together, all right? But they're having separate conversations, and we're seeing a ceasefire in the Black Sea now, which is something the Biden administration couldn't even perceive of. Okay, so already it's barely March 26th. Let's just say March 24th, March 25th. You're barely 2 months into the Trump administration. He's already got Ukraine and Russia sitting down and negotiating terms of peace. Okay, I thought he wasn't able to do that, guys. I mean, that's what MSM wanted you to believe. That's what the CNN, the Creative News Network, MSNBC, all the loony left media. They all told you this couldn't be done, right? So he's just talking out his whatever. Okay, well, I know Trump likes to inflate a lot of things and have a lot of fun with verbiage, but when Trump says he's going to do something, it gets done, right? So, with that being said, let's look at the economy. Trump said he was going to fix it. Now, the only thing here that I wish President Trump would have done was maybe made it a bit more clear that he's going to put the policies and procedures in place on day one, but it was going to take a while to fix the economy. All right? So, it's a little bit difficult to turn around a big ship like the U.S. economy, but he's got it going in the right direction. Okay? Everybody's bitching about the tariffs, and these are the worst thing in the world. You got Canada saying that they're not going to buy any more U.S. products. They're pulling it from the shelf. Guys, I got friends in Canada, and I got people that travel to Canada often, and that's a small majority of places that's actually happening. Most people are still buying American products up there, okay? You got the very tough Canuck politicians acting real tough and puffing out their chest and demanding things. Look, they're prime minister and province directors or governors, whatever the hell you call yourselves. Look, we don't need your maple syrup in your beer. We're good. We're good. We don't need that shit. We're fine. If anybody's getting upset with Trump about his 25% tariffs, we've already gone over the numbers before. Well, President Sleepy Joe was in there. APM Biden. They had 150, 250% tariffs on a lot of products, even before Trump got in. Okay, so they were pulling this shit before Trump even got in there. All Trump's doing is saying, look, you're not going to take advantage of us anymore. All right? Simple. All right? And we're just a couple weeks away from reciprocal tariff day. I know it was supposed to be last month. He delayed it by 30 days, so we're looking at April 2nd now. So, hey, might be happy reciprocal tariff day, April 2nd. We'll see what happens, okay? But it's working, guys. It's working. The tariffs in Mexico, it's working, right? You already got the EU that said, well, we're going to hit you with 25% tariffs. They're starting to back down. They understand, all right? Look, Europe. Let me explain something to you. You can't survive without the U.S. All your little organizations, the UN, NATO, the Paris Accord, all that shit, without us, the U.S., all that shit falls apart. So I implore President Trump, pull out of NATO, pull out of the UN. You already pulled out of the Paris Accord. Let them suffer. Let them see exactly how little they really are. Okay? So let them, it's like when you have a kid that doesn't want to listen and they think they're big and bad. Take the stuff away and let them suffer for a little bit. Let them understand you're the parent. You're the one that runs the show. All right? So EU, Europe, I hope Trump pulls out of the UN. I hope he pulls out of NATO. We already pulled out of Paris Accord. I just want to see you guys suffer and understand. And maybe you'll stop running your damn little traps. Okay? If you want the Statue of Liberty back, come. They have Frenchman, Pierre Von Père, or whatever the hell your French name is. Come get it. It's like we say in Texas. Come get it. It's right there. So, simple as that. Just waiting. See what European Union's going to do. But let's get back to the tariffs here that Trump is imposing. All right? Since Trump was talking about tariffs, because he was talking about it way back in his campaign, so it was not a big surprise that this is coming. All right? Some of the companies have jumped on board because they understand that when Trump says something, it usually gets done. Right? So Johnson & Johnson. Everybody knows Johnson & Johnson. They're the company that does the No More Tears shampoo. They own a billion other companies that are subsidiaries of Johnson & Johnson. So they make trillions upon trillions of dollars a year, I'm sure. Their manufacturing, R&D, research and development, and technology investments are going to be more than $55 billion in the U.S. over the next 4 years. So that's a lot of money, okay? Now, if you want to look at it, that is an over 25% increase as compared to the previous 4 years under President Joe Biden. All right? So right away, he's winning. Not only that, Johnson & Johnson just broke ground on a 500,000 square foot. Let me say that again. 500,000 square foot biologics manufacturing facility right there in Wilson, North Carolina. This is part of that $55 billion they're investing. So that's thousands of jobs for Wilson, North Carolina. There's a huge bump in their economy. All right. And I'm sure that these aren't going to be low-paying minimum wage jobs. I'm sure there's going to be some lower-paying jobs, but majority of these jobs here in this biologics manufacturing are probably going to be really good-paying jobs. That's going to make a huge difference in that area alone. Okay. SoftBank. We've already covered this during the campaign, right after Trump got elected. We announced this, right? So if you've been following me for a while, this is not news to you. SoftBank, $100 billion investment over the next 4 years. Sounds like his first big announcement in terms of investing companies, right? They're going to create themselves 100,000 new jobs. Most of it's going to be focused on artificial intelligence and related infrastructure. I'm not a big fan of AI, but that seems to be the future, so it is what it is. Good for them. 100,000 new jobs for one company in SoftBank. Thousands more from Johnson & Johnson. I'm not even done yet, guys. This is just two companies. So Are the tariffs working? I mean, it's not rocket science. You don't need to be Elon Musk to figure it out. That's working. Okay? Let's look at the United Arab Emirates, UAE. Okay? They committed to a 10-year, $1.4 trillion agreement with the U.S. All right? They're going to also have AI infrastructure, semiconductors, energy, and American manufacturing done over here in the USA now. $1.4 trillion. It's a lot of money. Think about that. $1.4 trillion. Okay? I didn't even know this was a company. Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company. Never heard of them. Apparently they're huge. Right? They gotta be. Because they said directly, too. This is directly in response to Trump's tariffs. They're going to invest another $100 billion in the U.S. operations, which means they've already invested money. Okay, we'll get back here in a second. They're going to invest another $100 billion into the U.S. operations. All right, they're doing it in form of new chip fabrication plants, 2 advanced packaging facilities, a new R&D center. So that's going to increase the total investments to $165 billion, and Phoenix, Arizona is going to be getting a lot of this. So, Phoenix, Arizona, Wilson, North Carolina, their economies are going to be a lot stronger. These are well-paying jobs, thousands upon thousands of jobs for both of these areas. Phoenix is already one of the fastest growing cities, if not the fastest growing city in America. This is not going to slow it down by any means. If you've ever been to Phoenix, it's absolutely beautiful out there. It's actually my second favorite place to live. So absolutely awesome out there. So good for Phoenix. Apple. Everybody knows Apple. Well, so you have iPhones, iPads, things of that nature. All right. I'm an Android guy, but $500 billion investment here in the U.S. from Apple. Hundreds of thousands, maybe not hundreds of thousands, thousands of new jobs, right? Being right back here to American soil, right? NVIDIA. These guys are a chip maker. Excuse me. They're going to invest hundreds of billions of dollars over the next 4 years in U.S.-based manufacturing operations. Excuse me, sorry. So you're looking at another hundreds of billions of dollars from a technology sector in NVIDIA. Okay? When you add all this up, according to the Commerce Department, taking out United Arab Emirates, there's over 700,000 new manufacturing jobs. We'll come back to that. And over $910 billion in private manufacturing investments. Okay, so we're looking at over 700,000 new manufacturing jobs. Now I know Doge really has a lot of these loony left bastards, like their panties are on in a bunch. They're setting fires to Teslas all over the place. They can't stand the fact that President Trump and Elon Musk, or President Musk, whatever you want to call him, right, are going around saving the American economy and cutting out the fat, okay? And yes, there are people getting fired. Understandable. But guess what? There are 700,000 new jobs created already by the Trump administration. Just through the companies that I've read. And these aren't like minimum wage jobs, guys. So yes, they're going to have to go from the public sector to the private sector and work. And I understand that's a big difference. I get it. Because in the public sector, like when you put in an 8-hour day, you probably worked like 1.5, maybe 2 hours total time. Right? And you get what is it, like 3,000 days off a year with the stupid holidays. I mean, you got the regular ones, and then you got Happy Transvest Parents Day. Your dog is now a cat day. All these other stupid federal holidays that these guys get off. Okay. They're going to have to work those days. But there's 700,000 new manufacturing jobs coming to the United States. That is 1,000 times more than what's going to be laid off. All right. So, looking good. Okay. Just recently, just this past week, Hyundai, the car manufacturer, right? They already said, they came out and said too, listen, Trump's tariffs, man. We we understand. We don't want to be paying these tariffs coming in when we make our cars and bring them over to America and not employ American workers, right? So what is Hyundai doing? Building a new $5.8 billion steel plant in Louisiana. It's creating nearly 1,500 new jobs right there. And this is as part of a total of $20 billion they're investing into the U.S. With their manufacturing. So Louisiana, a brand new steel plant, $5.8 billion new steel plant in Louisiana. Now I know steelworkers, they're union guys, all right? We all know union guys don't work for free, all right? And they got probably the best benefits out there right next to the public sector, okay? So these 1,500 new jobs that are going to be created in the steel industry, they're going to be good paying jobs, probably with amazing benefits too. All right? So damn that evil Trump and his tariffs. You know what? He should just take all that shit away. He should. He should just take all that shit away and just let these people not have good paying jobs. We're not creating like jobs at Walmart. We're not creating jobs at McDonald's. We're not creating less than middle class jobs here under the Trump administration, which past presidents have done, numerous of them. Trump is actually creating middle class jobs for people, trying to bring back the middle class, which we don't have really anymore. What made America so great was there was a huge middle class. We don't really have a middle class anymore. And for all you people that are rich and the rich bitching that the rich just get richer, the poor get poorer, here's your opportunity to get a good middle class paying job and make enough money that you can live comfortably. God, fuck Trump, man. That guy is evil. How can you stand that guy? How did you vote for him? My God, trying to bring back the middle class and he's actually going to do it. What a dick. General Motors invested $60 billion, right? General Motors is already redoing some of the plants that were half abandoned and plants that aren't being fully utilized. They see the tariffs coming. So what are they doing? They're taking some of these half abandoned plants that they had and some that aren't being fully utilized, utilizing them better, rebuilding some of these ones so that way they can have, again, more jobs in the auto sector. Building vehicles, making parts, things like that. More middle-class, good-paying jobs from General Motors. Honda's building a massive plant in Indiana. Okay? It's going to create thousands of manufacturing jobs for there. It's in Greensburg, Indiana. You guys are going to get a new plant. It's going to lead to higher state revenues. It's going to lead to local business growth. You're going to see that middle class develop out there, right? And more parts and components are going to be sourced from U.S.-based manufacturers now. We're not going to be relying on Chinese products and Taiwanese products and wherever else the Mexican products, whatever, Canadian products, right? We're going to be, more vehicles are going to be built with a higher percentage of U.S. products in the United States as well. All right, so to tariffs work, I mean, guys, you don't have to be a rock star. You don't have to be Elon Musk. You don't have to be even halfway intelligent. You don't even have to. You can be Kamala Harris and understand that this shit is working, right? You could be AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, or whatever the hell her name is, the former bartender / multi-million-dollar mogul now because she's in Congress, right? She gets it. She understands it. This is how easy this shit is to understand. She won't admit she understands it because she's a communist socialist scumbag, but she understands, right? Now, it's going to look at the stock market, right? Everyone's like, oh, but Mike, listen. The stock market is falling, and that means the economy is falling and Trump is failing, right? No. There was a lot of nervousness about the tariffs to see how it was going to play out because no president's actually done this really for a while. Not going back you got to go all the way back to like President McKinley or something like that, where you actually had a good amount of pressure on tariffs, right? So it's been a while since we've actually used tariffs as a negotiation tactic. So yeah, the stock market got a little nervous. Plus, they over speculated on a lot of the quarterly projections. and some of that had to come back down and get realigned. So we see some of that falling from the realignment from over speculation. I'm not an economic guru, but there's multiple factors at work. Now that everything seems to be in line, now that everything seems to be flattened out, on March 13th, it hit its low at 40,800. Today, about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I checked, it was at 42,800. So just in a matter of 2 weeks, we've already gained back 2,000 points. Okay? So now that everything's smoothed out, they're starting to see that more and more companies are investing into America. Again, $910 billion plus more coming. Hundreds and hundreds of thousands of new jobs, 700,000 plus new jobs coming. The stock market's starting to even out. It's starting to come back. All right. We already gained 2,000 points in less than 2 weeks, so it's already starting to come back after all the shakeup's done. Okay. Speaking of shakeup, we had a little bit of a signal chat fiasco going on under the Trump administration. You had editor-in-chief for The Atlantic, Jeff Goldberg, was accidentally, I'm going to put in quotes, added to the group chat on the encrypted messenger app Signal. Right? I got my own theories about whether he was accidentally added or not, but we'll see. On this encrypted chat, there was also CIA Director John Ratcliffe, Secretary of Defense Peter Hegseth, National Security Advisor Michael Waltz, and Vice President J.D. Vance are also on this as well, amongst others. Okay. Now, the Atlantic's Jeffrey Goldberg comes out the other day, and obviously he just I've added to this chat. It's top secret, all this crap, and he didn't want to put up the post, but it took him about 5 seconds to put the post up because he didn't want to do it for national security reasons, right? Now, if you look at the Atlantic, I look at different sites, and they'll tell you, regardless of the news site, these three different sites will tell you are they conservative, center, or liberal, and how conservative and liberal are they. According to the three sites, the Atlantic is left to left center. Okay, that's about as good as it gets, right? So this guy comes out and he thinks he's got an aha gotcha moment on the Trump campaign, right? I got all this top secret information and I can't release it because it's national security. But yet, like 30 minutes later, this guy's like releasing what he thought was top secret security information, right? And if it really was top secret security information, this guy just put thousands of military men and women's lives in danger. That dude's an asshole. Jeffrey Goldberg, you're a piece of fucking shit. Not because you released information that really is nothing, okay? Thank God it was nothing. But you released this information after you deemed it a national security risk, and you still put it up there. You're no better than those piece of shit Tesla burning fags. Sorry, you're not. You just call it like that. If you really thought it was national security risk, you wouldn't have put that up there. Jeffrey Goldberg. Piece of shit. Easy as that. Okay? First, he said it was top secret. Then it was classified. Now it's sensitive. Okay? So he can't even, every time this dude talks, it comes down a level, right? Now, of course, the Trump administration's all over this, right? Pete Hegseth, Secretary of Defense, comes out. He's on X. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I am going to quote it from Pete Hegseth on X. So let me get this straight. The Atlantic released these so-called war plans, and those plans included no names, no targets, no locations, no units, no sources, no method, and no classified information. Follows it up with, those are some really shitty war plans. Right? Goes on to say, this only proves one thing. Jeff Goldberg has never seen a war plan or an attack plan, as he now calls it. Not even close. And he goes on to just say, look, man, the dude's a piece of shit, right? Just like I said. And then Pete Hegseth actually says, and I'm over here right now with these guys in this area. Okay? Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, she chimed in on it. She said this was a standard update to the National Security Cabinet that was provided alongside updates that were given to foreign partners in the region. Okay. Was it a mistake that this piece of shit Jeffrey Goldberg got on it? Yeah, it was. But there was nothing that they didn't just have a standard update for. Now, Town Hall actually went ahead and printed the same thing because, again, there's no sensitive information on it. They waited to make sure that there was no sensitive information. It wasn't top secret. It wasn't a national security risk. They actually waited, unlike Jeff Goldberg, right? Piece of shit, right? So they put up there Pete Hegseth's signal chat. It says, from Pete Hegseth, team update. Time now, 11:44 Eastern Time. Weather is favorable. Just confirmed with CENTCOM. We are go for mission launch. 12:15 Eastern Time. F-18's launch, first strike package. 13:45. That's 1:45 for civilians. Trigger-based F-18 first strike window starts. Target terrorist is at his known location. Should be on time. Also, strike drones launched 14:10, 2:10. More F-18s launched, second strike package. 14:15, 2:15. Strike drones on target. This will be the first bomb will be definitely dropped pending earlier trigger-based targets. 15:36, 3:36. F-18 second strike starts. Also first sea-based Tomahawks launched. More to follow per timeline. And then he goes on to say, we're currently clean on OPSEC. Godspeed to our warriors. And then J.D. Vance pops in and says, I will say a prayer for victory. Okay. I'd like to say real quick, hi, Seda, Seraph, and Chris. Thank you all for joining me today. We're coming up near the end of this. But I just read you what Jeff Goldberg put up there that he thought was national security information that would put the United States at risk. But you know what? He decided he's going to go ahead and put it out there anyway. Okay. Just like Pete Hegseth said, there's no names, no targets, nothing like that. 12:15 Eastern Time. F-18's launch. Where'd they launch from? How many? Who's the target? What are they doing? What are they launching? Right? Oh, Seraphin, you're fine. You're fine, buddy. Right? Even when you go like somewhat detailed, this is the most detailed thing. Trigger-based F-18 first strike, window starts. Target terrorist is at his known location and should be on time. Well, we don't know who the terrorist is. We don't know the location. All we know is he should be on time. So if this gets out, worst case scenario, every terrorist in the entire world right now is shitting their pants. It's like, is that me? Are they going to be dropping a bomb on my head right now? Like, so worst case scenario, like every terrorist in the world right now is looking up at the sky. Going, oh crap, I think I'm dead. Okay? So that's about as detailed as it gets, guys. So no, there wasn't any sort of information that was given that was as Jeffrey Goldberg points out as top secret or classified, now sensitive. Okay? It was none of that. What does it do? It shows, if anything, the Trump administration communicates with each other and they know what's going on in real time and that they can talk to each other, and if anything needs to be aligned or realigned or if there's something going on, they're going to know right now. So if anything, what you got was a glimpse into how effective, how the communication goes from point A to point B, C, D, E, and F, and they all know in real time what's going on, and how the Trump administration is actually right on top of things. And this is why we're winning, guys. So if anything, Jeffrey Goldblum, if anything, thank you for publishing that, because it makes me feel a hell of a lot better that our president, our commander-in-chief, picked the right damn people to head up the Secretary of Defense, the FBI, National Intelligence Agency, Vice President, They're all on the same page. They all know what's going on, and there's no surprises. So, Mr. Goldberg, you piece of shit thinking you were giving out some secrets, you actually made me feel better knowing that this is what's going on, and they're actually on the same page, and this is why we're winning. So for that, Mr. Goldberg, I thank you. That's all I got for you today, guys. I do appreciate you popping in and listening to me. I know I've been a little erratic lately. Again, I'm up in Wisconsin helping out a state campaign. And once this is over, hopefully it'll slow down and I can get back to normal. Guys, we need to be on top of all this. This is why I travel around the United States and do what I do. And this is why I try to be the social educator that I am and keep you guys informed and let you guys go out and educate others. And you guys, again, I can't say this enough. I say it every time I'm up here, man. You guys do an amazing job. Absolutely amazing. Like, you can see it. You can see it in the polls. You can see it in the huge win President Trump had. We're looking at elections. It's looking good. I'm talking to people out here in Wisconsin, getting a lot more favorable than unfavorable. Okay, you're going to have your loony left, and they got the CNN watches and everything else, but it's not going to stop. But we're definitely heading in the right direction. So you guys are doing absolutely amazing. I appreciate each and every one of you. Let's keep it going, guys. What President Trump started, we just can't let stop. He got it going. He got it going in a major way. Now it's time for us to keep it going and continue to make America great. And as always, no matter what you do in life, always give praise to God, because nothing we do here is possible without Him. Till next time, I'll talk to you later. Love each and every one of you. And as always, I'll pray for you. Mike Dunkenberg out.